time on Roadkill Garage, we are prepping for action with the Vanishing Paint, the Off-Road Challenger, the DF Super B, kind of the MMT, and we're going on a Rampage. Boom! Yeah! Welcome to the episode I like to call A Matter of Convenience. You know what's going on here, Dulcich?
I see a whole lineup of Dodges.
We've got Roadkill Nights coming up, which is that event that we do in Pontiac, Michigan, an M1 concourse with the drag racing on Woodward and everything.
Oh yeah, super fun.
And imagine this, the whole event is powered by Dodge.
Yeah.
And they want us to bring every single Dodge Roadkill vehicle.
Dead or alive?
Well, we got to make them undead. So on this episode of Roadkill Garage, we're going to have to fix a bunch of little stuff that's gone wrong with all of these cars over the past few episodes. So we got the Off-Road Challenger, the Vanishing Paint Challenger. After that, we're going to work on the Super B, and finally, if we can get to it, the Mopar muscle truck. So we're going to start simple and go big. Hop in the ORC and let's get this thing fixed. We're going to be getting all of these cars ready for a competition that's going to involve road course, autocross, burnouts for distance, probably some drag racing. So in every case, we're just going to have to go through them and make them roadkill good enough. Our first victim is the Off-Road Challenger, or the ORC. It's a 1970 Dodge Challenger, and the last time you saw this thing, Dulcich and I had pulled out the 318 engine that was destroyed in a sandstorm, and we replaced it with a 360 from an old 3/4 ton truck. Then we had a mud drag race showdown against the BJ5 Jeep and developed the problems that we're gonna fix today. The biggie is the awesome footage from that last episode where this engine was flopping around like a catfish in the engine compartment. Both the engine mounts are completely destroyed. We also know that it needs a fan belt because we're flipping that belt. It's got some kind of power steering leak. We know that the trans linkage does not go into gear properly. And the interior is still this deep in lava rock sand. It was actually growing trees in it when we pulled it out of Dulcich's backyard. And the problem is we're gonna be on a professional racetrack in the shootout and we can't be throwing sand all over it. So we're gonna have to figure out how to clear out the interior. I'm gonna just put gardening. So step one, engine mounts. Ready, Dulcich? Normally to change engine mounts like this, we would be using the engine hoist to pick it up, but what we're gonna try and do is put it on jack stands, and then pick the engine up from underneath with the floor jack, because if you do it with the cherry picker, the legs are always in the way of actually wrenching. What's going on? Is it still attached on the passenger side?
Yeah, it's pivoting on this side.
Yeah, I see that.
Get it as high as you can possibly get it. Now that is a broken motor mount.
So that's the reason why we're changing this engine mount. The factory, what they call motor mount isolators, have that rubber biscuit in them that keeps the engine, when it's shaking, from actually translating noise, vibration, harshness into the chassis. Now, the thing I always did as a teenager with every single car is bought myself a set of these moreShow solid steel engine mounts, meaning no rubber in them whatsoever, no flex possible. And that's what we're gonna do on the Off-Road Challenger, just so that we don't have another problem.
I've got the motor mount bracket unbolted from the engine, and here you can see the other half of the isolator. This was originally one piece like that, but they frequently break because there's nothing but vulcanized rubber holding the two metal plates together. So, I'm gonna go get this new one installed, and we'll be good to go. All right, I think that's good. Here's a little something you want to be aware of. The stock rubber motor mount has a fixed stud right in the middle. The replacement steel motor mount has a slot, so it can be adjusted forward and back on the bracket. And I put it in right on the center, but I'm not 100% sure if it's going to line up with the mounting pad on the K-frame. So if you lower it, I'll try to get the bolt in.
Is the other side done?
Yeah.
Ready for the drop?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the desperation technique where you drop the engine in to try and get the motor mount to go on further and line up. That didn't work.
Pretty good.
You think it did?
I thought it had some jolt to it. Ah, it went right in. So the drop
was the key.
It absolutely lined it up.
Simplest job, and I didn't think we could like teach anybody anything.
Which fish to compare a rubber mount with?
Did you like salmon, trout, or bass?
I like catfish.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they flop around like a 318 with broken motor mounts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, catfish. Motor mount's done?
Never to fail again.
Would it technically be a motor mount or an engine mount?
I would say new isolators installed. Yep.
Okay, so you gotta finish up the belt. I'm gonna vacuum the interior.
And I'll fix the shift linkage. Now, Freiburger, I'm gonna do an inspection when you're done, and I better not see a single granule.
Will it be
of
white
sand.
glove?
Yes.
Really?
Well, no, it'll be leather glove, tan leather glove, but. The biggest problem with this car has to do with the column shifter here, and that's because the motion at the shifter doesn't correspond to the right amount of travel at the transmission. So when you have the thing in park, it's actually in reverse, and that can be kind of dangerous. So I'm gonna rework the linkage and hopefully get that fixed right. It's like some kind of ultra hard steel that just doesn't drill. It literally doesn't drill. That's a carbide bit. That shifter is fixed.
Are we done?
I think so. Let's check it.
Yeah, engine mount, fan belt, actually both of them. The power steering leak, I tightened the hose. I think that was probably the problem. You perfected that shift linkage.
I know, I'm really proud of it.
I handled the gardening. Say, drop it, and then out of here.
Okay.
Huh. Brake pedal went to the floor. Let me just go ahead and pump that up and pretend it didn't happen. Ooh, shifter's fixed.
You gotta let it warm up.
Okay, I'm gonna do a brake check real quick. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, the brake pedal just goes right to the floor.
Oh, that's no good.
It did skip, though. I forgot the inconvenience of having no windshield.
Yeah. I'm not too bad. My eyes feel fine.
You look good.
That's the main thing. Well, how about we do a brake check here and see if we have skid marks on all 4 tires?
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Wow, stops perfectly straight.
Yeah, I know, but the brakes suck.
Did it only lock up the front? Why don't you get out and look?
Okay.
Are we that dumb?
No way. Whoa, that is front brake only. There's nothing happening at the back, so basically, I consider that a full-time line lock. Let's see the burnout. Wow. That's 3rd gear. Wow, that is a bogger burnout. Whew, that's got to be a first.
Should we try a dirt donut for old time's sake?
Okay, don't flip it.
Ah, yeah. The ORC is pretty good. Everything you fixed is flawless.
Great. I feel very accomplished. Except for the rust and volcanic dust flying in my eyes is great.
The Off-Road Challenger is a really fun car for its stated purpose, which is blasting around in the dirt. It's really not that good on asphalt, but I just discovered something that makes it epic. It spins those boggers hard. I can't believe it does burnouts like that. The worst part about it, though, is that the brakes are terrible. But the thing is, the Vanishing Paint Challenger brakes are not much better. And I gotta do a time-benefit analysis and say, I take this car more seriously than I do the Off-Road Challenger, and we've only got a given amount of time. And so I really wanna get the brakes fixed on the Vanishing Paint Challenger first. So now I gotta get this one into the shop. So now the heavy wrenching is about to begin. We gotta jack this thing up, pull the wheels and tires off and everything. But first, a moment for a personal interlude. I've gotta reveal that I've actually destroyed the rotator cuff in my right shoulder, which is really weird because it's like normal day to day down here, but I can't do anything like this or like this. So I can't do all of the wrenching that I would normally do on the show. I don't have to have surgery, but I am gonna have 6 months of physical therapy. Meanwhile, he's got 6 months of ice cream therapy. And so we're bringing in the Freiburger Hulk, Wiley. Normally Wiley here is our drone operator, but he's gonna come in and help us wrench while we eat ice cream. Go to it.
All right.
Wiley will have that handled before we even finish the ice cream.
I should have gotten injured way before this.
I know.
You know what? This is a stock drum brake master cylinder. I bet it's just wrong for these front brakes. That's what it is. Okay, I'm gonna pull this drum off now, and I think I'm gonna find that that needs a lot of adjustment. The brake shoes are like really far away from the drums. That's a problem. But they're not covering gear oil like I thought they might be. Interesting. So do you agree that we're gonna adjust the drums and then install a master cylinder and bleed the brakes?
Yeah, do you know how to adjust drum brakes?
Apparently not.
This is a Bendix single piston brake system and it has a self-adjuster. So I'm just gonna advance the shoes a little bit until it feels right and then, bam, just like that. Okay, Wiley, I think we have the back brakes adjusted just about perfectly. So what do you think we're gonna do next here?
Looks like we're doing the master cylinder.
Yeah, so I've got this. It looks completely different, but the bolt pattern's identical, so it'll bolt right onto the firewall, plus it takes the same size fittings for the brake lines. So you get under the dash, remove the push rod from the pedal, and then it's just a swap out.
Piece of cake.
All right, Steve, you got it? Dude, that's not a brake pedal push rod. That's a bolt welded to a nut. That actually looks like Freiburger's welding job.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, Wiley, we've got the brake lines on, and we've got the master all tightened up, so what's next?
Bleeding time.
Oh, my favorite. Okay, up,
Up
down,
and down.
and hold.
All right, looks like the brakes are almost bled. If I'm lucky, I'm gonna have my name on this door someday.
We're still fighting the whole brake problem, and we've sort of been through the troubleshooting list. Wiley and Steve just went around and bled and bled and bled, and still we have a very spongy pedal. So what I'm gonna do here is show you how this caliper is actually expanding like this, meaning instead of putting all of the power into the rotor, it's actually spreading itself apart. Watch how when I put a measuring caliper onto the brake caliper and set it to 0. All right, Wiley, stab it. Boom, full 40 thousandths worth of flex right there. So the deal here is that those calipers are rated for 950 to 1050 PSI. And with our combination of master cylinder bore diameter and brake pedal ratio, there's a good chance that we're exceeding that, which is why they're flexing. Of course, we don't have any brake pressure gauges sitting around, and we tried to change the master and that didn't work. So we're gonna have to fix it the Roadkill way, which means going back to stock.
This is a factory single piston cast iron caliper, and it's just as rigid as an anvil, so that'll have no give. And the key part's gonna be this. This is the caliper mounting adapter, and depending on the offset of the rotor, it may need some shimming to fit perfectly, but I'm pretty sure it'll bolt right in.
As far as the rotor, we're just putting the stockers back on. These are the 1972-piece rotor that came off of this particular 1970 Challenger. Here's something that you gotta know if you are dealing with disc brakes on your Mopar, is that there is a different spindle in the early years between the drum brake and the disc brake. The parts that we're using for the caliper itself on this thing are a little bit later model, and this is a tech tip direct from Dulcich. If you want to find this bracket, which has the slider on the caliper as opposed to the pin pin type. The one vehicle that you can use, like for your make and model, in order to get that is a 1987 Dodge Diplomat. That's the one car that never had the pin type caliper on it. So if you want to get that floater, that's the setup. So hopefully this will fix our problem once those guys get it together and bled.
Down.
Down.
And up.
Up.
All right, now the Roadkill debacle is struck. Those guys completely wrapped the entire brake system. It's got pedal, everything is good. I went to put wheels and tires on, and I forgot that when we had converted to the bare brakes, we had converted the entire Vanishing Paint Challenger to a Chevy bolt pattern to fit these wheels that used to be on the Crusher Camaro. And then later, I put on these cool super light wheels, these 15s. They're not fitting anymore because that's a Chevy bolt pattern wheel, and this thing now has the Mopar pattern on it. So for the rest of the episode, we're gonna end up with the old Rambler U111 on the back. It's a US Mags wheel called a Rambler. And on the front, leftovers from the Disgusting, because the old Ford muscle car bolt pattern is the same as the old Mopar or Dodge muscle car bolt pattern of 5 on 4.5 inches, whereas the rear is 5 on 4 3/4. So this is gonna look hideous for the balance of this episode, and I'll get it fixed by the time we hit Roadkill Nights. Next up, Super B. This car's literally been sitting in the garage for 2 years since I raced Finnegan at Roadkill Nights on Woodward 2 years ago. So I just need to give it the once over, like blow it off, change the oil, nut and bolt check the nitrous bottles, and the biggie is the tack doesn't work, which really bugged me. So the thing about the nitrous bottle is it says right on it, weight of cylinder and gas, 24 pounds, 12 ounces.
Oh.
Yep, weight of cylinder empty, 14 pounds, 12 ounces. Weight of gas, can you do the math? 10 pounds.
It's easy to subtract 10 from any number. Right?
Yeah. That one is full, 24.5 pounds. Look at this tack, it's kind of interesting. It's an Autometer Pro Comp 2. It's what they call a dual sweep. You can see it's got one range from 0 to 4,000 RPM, and then the numbers are much farther apart, so there's much more resolution in the gauge from 4,000 all the way up to 9,000, and it doesn't work. I'm gonna see right now. Oh, this might work now. Now it works. Super annoying. Well, apparently whatever's wrong with it is not wrong with it right now. I think it's got a bad ground, because right when you depend on the tack, it doesn't work. Tack, oh wait, look, tack's not working. All right, well we got that going for me. I managed to break the tack again.
Wow, this thing is heavy.
That's pretty black.
Yeah.
After sitting in the garage for 2 years, let's see how much oil it's actually got in it. It's more than I thought. Like that right there is what? 2.5. So basically, yeah, it had 3 quarts of oil in it. So we're gonna put 7 in now. Okay, well that catch on the oil was a really, really, really big one. So I'm glad we at least did a little bit of fiddling around with the Super B. The tack, still a mystery at this point. I might change it when we actually get to Detroit. Meanwhile, moving on to go have a look at what's going on with the MMT, right?
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that.
Tack's working again. Nice, mystery tack. Here's the production reality of our show. We literally sometimes need to do episodes in order to get things done. What we had to get done this time was fixing 4 different vehicles to ship to Detroit on Monday, and we had 5 days to do it. And so we've got 2 days to fix the Mopar muscle truck, and unfortunately the 318 is history. The piston broke, the cylinder wall broke. We don't have another small block Mopar sitting around ready to just plop into this thing. And besides, you saw that on just the prior episode of Roadkill Garage. So we're sitting around trying to decide what to do, because we gotta have greatness at Roadkill Nights. And so Burger had the idea, why don't we get another vehicle? And I've been looking through Craigslist, and I think I've got a pretty good replacement for the Mopar muscle truck. So we're taking a road trip. Dude, I think it's mint.
Yeah.
Aha!
Nice.
The mini Mopar muscle truck.
It's only like half a truck.
Let me train you.
I'm listening.
This is the Dodge Rampage. They only made these 82, 83, and 84.
Ooh.
Okay, Wiley, pop the hood.
All right. See what we got.
We know it. We have the 2.2 Chrysler.
I know. Ooh, it feels light.
Is this just a single overhead cam?
Oh,
Yeah.
look at it. It's going the wrong way.
No, that's right for this. It's the front driver, man.
Well, it's right and yet wrong.
Yes.
Wow. How come I'm stoked about this? It's ridiculous. This was new when I was in high school.
Here's the thing. Back in the 80s, this car was a real performer. And the Rampage in particular, because believe it or not, it was a little bit lighter than the 024 Omni.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm happy. How about you?
I don't know why I'm actually not just happy, but enthusiastic about
Well, here's
it.
the thing. These cars may not be big on specs like horsepower
96
or anything
horsepower.
else, but
Huh.
they're really capable performers.
Really? And look at the style.
Yeah. And the door handles work.
Uh-oh. I have a feeling that I'm losing the Rampage to Dulcich right now.
How did you
I
know?
had been the one that was going to fall in love with it, and now you're the one falling in love with it. Man, we're going to have to arm wrestle for who gets to drive this home. Maybe we'll just leave the Challenger here and hit the
Arm
road.
wrestle for it.
Yeah.
You're just trying to give it to me?
I think we have to Rochambeau for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Ready?
I always beat you at Rochambeau.
You do?
Every time.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. He beat me at Rochambeau every single time. Okay, Dulcich is driving. Let's run this thing. It's quiet and smooth.
Oh, the clutch take-up's really high.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man. This thing's cush.
It's slow! Wow, this thing is geared so
What,
high.
that was wide open?
Yeah.
Let's see. It's exactly what I anticipated.
Wow, it's slower than
exactly what I remember from the
I
80s.
thought this thing was going to be more of a rocket.
Well, you're remembering the turbo model.
I think the front subframe's torqued over a little bit. And
What, you're going to the whole subframe?
Yeah, he told me it's tweaked.
Why?
It's been in an accident.
Oh. Really?
It's not that bad. I think it can be fixed very easily. Or just left alone. He said it drives fine, just like this.
The frame is bent and you didn't tell me?
I didn't find out till after Wiley handed over the cash.
Oh.
Wow, is it slow? Okay, ready for acceleration?
Yep. I'm ready.
It's so slow! That's all she's got.
It's not about the speed with the Rampage. It's about the style and the cargo hauling capabilities.
Have you noticed something else about it?
It's really quiet.
And the smoothness?
Yeah.
Did you notice how it just glides across the road?
I did.
That's amazing. Whoa! Man, did you hear that thing break loose?
I hope with my torn rotator or broken rotator, I can actually pull this off. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good, but I think I got you a little more scratch.
Oh, dude, this is going to be a wheel hopping burnout machine.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this thing is 36 years old.
And look at the way it handles.
And it's so fun. Oh, man.
the Rampage to the rescue.
You know what? Even with the off-road Challenger, the Vanishing Paint Challenger, and a Hemi Super Bee, this episode was a turd until we got the Rampage.
Yeah, and to me, it's not like I lost a Mopar muscle truck.
You gained a mini
Ram.
Mopar muscle truck Rampage. Yeah, pretty excellent. You know, there's an old expression that says it is more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow, and that is exactly what we've got going on here. Not only that, but I never knew until literally a couple hours ago that I had a nostalgia for these things.
Yeah, me too. And the thing is genuinely fun to drive and ride around in.
It could be better. So what's gonna happen now is we're gonna blast out of here and we're gonna load all of these Dodges onto the pilot truck, and they're going back to Pontiac, Michigan for Roadkill Nights. And in an upcoming episode of Roadkill, you're gonna see the action with all of this stuff. And I think Steve and I are both stoked to see the Rampage beat something. And if it doesn't, it will be back on Roadkill Garage. I want to hop this thing up. How about you?
Oh man, I've got plans, dude. I've got plans.
Oh, it's going to be great. Let's get out of here.
Let's go.
Ready? Hit it!
Wait a minute.
Check this guy out. What, you think you guys supposed to dress like your boss?
Are you Freiburger or is he Freiburger?
It's ridiculous.
Well, the real Freiburger raised her hand.
I never actually realized until this moment how good this looks. Check that out. I had no idea I was that stunning. This is pretty great.
What about this getup?
It's not really pulling it off.
No.
No.
Times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes